Is it a must business wise?
For the Bills,
Yeah.
yes. People's jobs are on the line. Sean McDermott, his job is on the line. This team doesn't make the playoffs, he might be out of the job because this team is too talented to not be making the playoffs. Like Rick said, they are still able to. I think either way, they are able to make the playoffs at this point. Even if they have a shot at winning the division still. In order to win the division, yes, they have to go through Rick's Dolphins. But I think even if they don't necessarily win that last game, they probably get a wild card spot. And again, I'm gonna keep saying it. It's December football. We have a team where you want to start playing your best football. And this Bills team is starting to play their best football. That game yesterday, it was a little shaky. You know what I mean? There was points where I was like, wait a minute. Why are the Bills struggling here with, a Chargers team without Justin Herbert, without Keenan Allen, who just fired their head coach and their general manager last week? But they managed to tough that game out and get the W, which is the important part. So you want to start playing your best football around this time of the year, and that's what this Bills team is doing. They're one of those teams where if they get into the playoffs, I don't think you necessarily want to see them in the playoffs. If they win the division, that means they get a home game. Do you really want to go to Buffalo in January? You know what I mean? Nobody wants to go to Buffalo in January. So, you know what I mean? So it's one of those teams where they're going to be a scary team if they get into this playoffs because they changed their offense coordinator, Joe Brady, who's had some trips at, won a national title down there at LSU with us. And then, he was with the Panthers for a while, so he's bounced around a little bit, but he's come in, he's kind of flipped this offense a little bit and got more focusing on the run game and utilizing James Cook a little bit more, you know what I mean? So they finally suited up Leonard Fournette yesterday. Leonard Fournette, he might come in, having that downhill tough runner come playoff time, come December, January is things you want to have. So this team, I'm telling you, they're one of those teams where if they get into the playoffs, they're going to be dangerous. They're going to be dangerous.
Yeah, and the thing is too, and I mentioned as far as the Dolphins and the Bills being on opposite ends of the spectrum, right? That's why I've been pounding the table all year where people are talking about, the Dolphins, they haven't beaten anybody good and this and that. I was like, look, it is what it is. The schedule is what the schedule is, right? That's why it was important for the Dolphins to get as many wins as possible coming into this stretch. Not only do we know the tough schedule that the Dolphins have to finish with 3 tough games in a row, but historically the Dolphins have been horrible in the month of December. On the flip side, you got the Bills, who I think, if I'm not mistaken, yesterday was like the 9th or 10th straight game they've won in the month of December, going back to 2 seasons ago, so I know my team, I know my division, I know my division opponents. And again, this is why I've been saying all year, the goal is to stay as far ahead as possible. But that last game is going to decide a whole bunch, man. That's the playoffs start. I mean, the playoffs technically start for some teams from now, but that Dolphins Bills game, last game of the season, they need to just go ahead and flex that right now to the final game of the regular season, because that's the first official playoff game this year.
Thanks for watching the Sports Hit List. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. In fact, do it now.